So last night was my first night in the Durston X-Mid 2 in my back garden. Bit excited, had to be in it. It was a chilly night, about 7 degrees. It's late October in the UK, so we're just about to have our clocks go back for Greenwich Mean Time from British Summer Time. Hello, Zeb. The cat, it's always bothering me here. It was also a very moist night. There was a very heavy dew in the morning, and the tent is on long grass, and the grass was wet when I put it onto the grass, so plenty of water about. Now, as to condensation inside the tent, the outer was wet, but the inner, because it's the mesh, wasn't wet. It didn't condense inside. The only water that came into the tent was when I opened the doors. There was that much water on the inside of the fly that it dripped inside the tent a little bit, and really I don't know how you get past that. Maybe undo the doors very carefully, recognising that it could be soaking wet. To be fair, I was probably half asleep doing it. So I'll show you what my sleeping setup was. Obviously not well planned, just thrown together before I went to bed. I like the shadow. I've left it up to get it to dry this morning. There you go. Bottle of water, sleep mat, my sleeping bag, a bit of luxury with a couple of feather pillows and some bits of clothing that I discarded after I went to bed. All in all, I would say pretty successful. Certainly so far quite impressed with this tent. I need practice at putting it up. I'm sure anyone who's done it will tell you that it's all a bit flappy and stuff, but yeah, first night pretty good, and certainly having slept in it last night, if I can just get myself a little bit warmer, maybe uprate the sleeping bag or something, I think I'm in business with this one. Here comes Zebby. Zeb? No. Anyway, there you go. Not too bad at all. Quite pleased with it. And that's an English understatement, I think. So a few things that I like about the Durston X-Mid 2. One is the guy lines. I really do like these little clips that allow you to tighten the guy line up. Now normally that would be a slider, so you'd end up with double length line. Obviously this gives you single length line. The only thing is that at the peg end there is just a loop. If I can show you. Oh, hello cat. I'm not sure I can show you. Maybe I'll be able to show you. Oh, I was pulling the wrong thing. There's a loop and the peg goes through it. The pegs that are supplied are a tight fit on that loop. Now, that's probably intentional, but if you buy different pegs you may find they don't work. But those guy line tighteners, tensioners, are superb, and they're really easy to loosen off and then re-tighten. One of the things I like about the Durston X-Mid 2 is because it's using the walking poles, you're saving weight. These are the Durston walking poles, so they're very, very light anyway. But they've been very clever in the way they've done the base, because they've got this piece of tape just here that sits around the tent, around the pole bottom, which allows you to pull the pole out to the right position, which firstly makes it easy to position the pole, because you could put it in a number of different places if you're not careful. That's too high, but that helps with making sure the tent base is the right shape. But secondly, prevents the bottom of the pole falling out, because if that were to slip out, the tent would collapse. So the pole has got a holding position top and bottom, not just at the top, relying on friction, keeping it against the ground. I think that's a good move. This tent is erected with just the pegs and the guy lines that come with the tent, but there are additional positions for guying out. You can attach more guy lines there, here, so every seam, even the ventilation flap has an additional guy line that lets you, just take that off, that lets you pull it tight And around the base, you'll also find guying points. So I think with a little bit of elastic around the base, probably best, but some cord tied up nicely give you, and some extra pegs will give you some better tied-in points. I would like to get some more of these, but to fit them to these points, I'd probably have to undo the stitching, and that ain't happening. So this is going to be a simple knot and a standard guy line, probably with a runner for adjustment. Oh, I've just noticed I've put the pegs in the wrong way round. I think they're supposed to go completely 180 degrees so that this catches the line should it ride up. Another feature I like about the Durston X-Mid 2 is the bathtub ground sheet. It's very lightweight, but it's pegged in two, or pinned in two places, and it has a little bit of a pole or stiffener there, and that goes off out to the edge of the tent where it's clipped. That's all preset to length, so therefore you just don't mess with it and just clip it in when you want it. But it brings the bottom of the tent into a more vertical position. Now you can see over in that corner that I have failed to get that more vertical position. Hope that's zooming in. Is that working? Well, maybe that's because I can get. But that almost certainly means I've not got the tent up properly, not fully square. I love the colour. Firstly, I think it's a lovely colour, but secondly, I think that'll blend in quite nicely. Almost as good as a brown on my other tent is, but I think that'll blend in nicely when I'm out and about. It's not going to show up my position too easily. And for me, that's probably a good thing, because I'll be mostly wild camping. Obviously, for people who want to be up in the mountains and be found by rescue and so on, it's less helpful, but you have to pay your money and take your choice. I like the green. Now I've erected the tent for the first time and I've clipped the inner tent into the fly. It is possible, I understand, to now collapse the tent and fold it away fully in that configuration. The next time you come back to it, all you do is the four corner pegs, put the walking poles in, and hey presto, you've got a fully erect tent with the inner already in place. Sounds fantastic, and in some circumstances probably is, but for me, I want to make sure it's dry, because I would never put a tent away wet. That tent's on damp ground. I need to basically separate the two, dry the outer, dry the inner, and pack it away nicely. That tent will now get taken down. We're taken indoors. It will be left out open to dry for a few hours to make sure it's bone dry before I then fold it away. You can see it's not been used very much because it's still got so many creases in it from it when it was packed away, but they'll help me find the right way to fold it. Anyway, sometime I'll try leaving the inner tent in and folding it away. I do wonder if it was all soaking wet and perhaps I wasn't gonna be camping in it the next night. I might be lazy and do that anyway, but yeah, so far well impressed with this tent. So, really good. Striking the tent, quite easy to take out the inner. There's just a little clip in there. You undo that. You then do the same at the top of the other pole, which will drop the whole inner down inside, and then at each corner down in the tent there's a position where you just unclip the ground sheet guy ropes. I'm not even sure I'll need to take, just lean in there and unclip. Unclip, and squeeze the thing together. The fittings are really nice and simple and easy. They've obviously selected the right gear. There it is, just unclip, and that's my inner free. I can now pull that out, and that does make, whoops, there you go, except I didn't undo the pole. One of the good features, the poles are attached to the ground sheet. Still, perhaps that's saved me a bit of time.